I have completed 46 2024 TV shows this year. Let's talk about it. Well, okay, wait, hold on. We're not talking about the fact that I've seen an unhealthy amount of TV. We're just talking about the best TV. That's what we're talking about. Hello, my little filmer dudes. My name is Montero. Thank you for joining me on my journey to watch every TV show and every sitcom ever created. Not really, apparently, but we are going to get close. There's been like a lot of TV this year, both good and bad. The bad, I feel like it has been so bad that I'm not gonna do a worst list just because I genuinely don't think the worst list is gonna change that much. So I'm reserving the worst list for the end of the year because there's like one show that kind of made it there already, but it's not that hard. 46 TV shows is so far, and I would have totally seen more. April, May, and June were a little rough for me, so it's fine. But I have seen and completed 46 shows that have come out in 2024, and we're only doing up to June, and not any shows that I've seen in July, because we have seen much in July already. And this only includes shows that are completed, so we are not including shows like The Boys Season 4, The Bear Season 3, and The Acolyte, because neither of these are completed well before June. Honestly, the number of TV shows I'm gonna have watch is only gonna get higher and higher by the end of the year. Will I beat last year? I don't know. Maybe. This year has been a little different for me. I mean, clearly. But what are shows I haven't seen yet, but I fully meant to, I just haven't seen them yet? Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video, Shogun, Ripley, and I don't have Max right now or Apple TV Plus. None of those shows are going to make it on this list, but maybe, hopefully by the end of the year, I can, because there's a lot of Apple TV shows that I kind of want to watch. There's always Max shows that I want to watch, like Hacks Season 3. I'm going to watch that by the end of the year. Hacks is such a good show. Oh my goodness, that I hear Hacks Season 3 is good. Makes me happy. So honorable mentions, these are shows that either didn't quite make it because of the rating wasn't as high, but these are shows that I really liked, and I just want to honorably mention them. And those are Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 1 on Netflix, and that gets an 8.6. I think the show was really good, but I mean, honestly, it just needed a little something special. Not quite sure what it is, but I assume it's gonna be the worst of the three, just like its predecessor, but that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means I like it. Then we have Hazbin Hotel on Amazon Prime, and that gets an 8.8. I really like the show as well. I just thought again, there was just something that was missing, and I think it's because the show is very much a first-parter, and there was a lot of filler. Not much character development, but that's because they're holding off for Season 2. Then Animal Control Season 2 gets a 9. They get a step up from last season, and they really did. I saw the potential from Season 1. They brought their A game for Season 2, and I thought they are very much deserving for listening to the masses. And then Will Trent Season 2 gets a 9.2. It was also a lot better than the first season, a less dark feeling, but more character-driven series. And the finale, oh my gosh, they had a La La Land finale, and it brought me to tears. So starting out with number 10, we have Abbott Elementary Season 3 with a 9.4 on Hulu. And believe it or not, this is the first time Abbott Elementary is making a best list ever that I've made, so good on it. I thought Season 1 was great. Season 2 was also really good, but it was a little wonky here and there. But Season 3, man, Season 3 stepped it up. It's definitely a comfort show, and I feel like it's always going to be a comfort show. And even though so many shows were affected, so many sitcoms and sci-fi shows, dramas, just shows all around, but specifically sitcoms, were very much affected by the writer's strikes. Seasons that were supposed to be 22 episodes long ended up being only 10 to 13. Animal Control was supposed to be longer than it was, and it was only 9. Season 1 was 10. However, Quinta Brunson is a mad genius. She and her crew were able to lean into the fact that there was a giant gap, and they wrote their own version. Explanation was they lost cameras, and it took a while to afford more cameras, and they did an update, a recap, and other things, and that one TV episode is probably one of the best TV sitcom episodes I've seen in a very long time. And then the finale, the way it ended, oh my goodness. I can't wait for season 4 this fall. It's gonna come out this fall so soon. So, yes. Coming in at number 9 is Baby Reindeer with a 9.5, and that's streaming on Netflix. Honestly, it took me a little bit to watch Baby Reindeer. I am late to the game, but I'm actually so glad that I was late to the game, because as soon as I watched it, as soon as I finished it, the next day, the real Martha started her shenanigans. It's hilarious because she basically outed herself by saying it's her, but it's not her, but it couldn't be her because it's not her. Bitch outed herself. I followed a guy who was following the news and reported on the news of the real life Martha and asked lawyers if she has a viable case, and they're like, no, it's DOA, it's dead on arrival. I personally can't wait for the trial. It's gonna be phenomenal. The memes, oh, it's gonna be great. But in all seriousness, the show in of itself, I think was really good. I think one of the things that could have helped the show, because there's a lot of people who were a little uneasy with how the show was being done, because honestly, and you know, spoilers, when watching the show, you kind of, and this is not just me, this was a lot of other people, the one thought that comes to your mind is, well, you're kind of doing it to yourself. You have the ability to say no and get out of my life, or to do something about it. But then when you learn the motivations and that something has happened, and it explains why what's currently happening is happening, you're like, that makes sense. It's not justified, but it makes sense. And it's horrific and awful. And I think the show is one that people should watch so that they could be aware that people are advantageous. People are cruel. People are selfish and entitled, and once again, advantageous. And it's just important to be on one's guard always. And I think this show was designed and shot and produced for that. And I think people should watch it, because I think it's good. It's heavy. Once again, I think that this opens up a great conversation of do not talk to strangers. Stranger danger is a real thing. It's not a joke. It's a real thing. Live alone and watch TV, like me. But the ending is a little on nose. I mean, I get it. It's cinema, but you know, Baby Reindeer gets a 9.5 out of 10. Coming in at number 8 is We Were the Lucky Ones with a 9.6 out of 10. This is on Hulu, and oh my gosh, I typically don't like war movies, war shows, because they're so deep and heavy for me. They get me. I've never seen Saving Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge, nor do I intend to, so don't even try to get me. I understand that war is awful. No duh. That was the only message in Civil War, and the movie that came out this year. It's just, war is awful. Well, shit. But We Were the Lucky Ones. What a phenomenal show. Holy cow. Having two of my favorite actors growing up, Joey King and Logan Lerman. Oh my goodness, give them Oscars, not just nominations, Oscars. The performances throughout this whole show are phenomenal. The show is heartbreaking, I will admit. It's heartbreaking. It follows a Jewish-Polish family who get divided during the Second World War, and it's their journey to finding each other again. And the things that these people endure is a lot. It's honestly heartbreaking. I don't remember what episode it is, but there's one episode that just breaks me every time, and I think the finale breaks me, but I think it's towards the end, and I'm remembering some things. I will say that the finale had me at a full sob. I want to say it's the final two that like finally broke me, because I was like holding on so hard. But it's about a real family and real war, and the injustice that happens, especially when having a child during that as well. It is one I highly recommend. We Were the Lucky Ones gets a 9.6 out of 10. That's only number 8. It's gonna get good. Coming in number 7 is Extraordinary Season 2 with a 9.7 out of 10. And this is, you can find this one on Hulu or Disney Plus if you have the bundle, but it's on Hulu. This definitely feels like a second part of an overall story. We had season 1 setting up Jen, setting up her life, setting her family. We have season 2 on her journey of finding her powers and everything. And now we're gonna have a season 3 in my end, what I think is gonna be the best season. I already made 2 theory videos, so you could go ahead and check those out. They're little mini reviews, but all I wanted to say is that season 2 is really funny. Is it as good as season 1? I don't know. I think I like season 1 a little bit more, but season 2 is phenomenal. Once again, character work, and it's hilarious. But Extraordinary season 2 gets a 9.7 out of 10. Coming in number 6 is Ghost season 3 with a 9.7 out of 10 on Paramount Plus. This is another sitcom that experienced real life complications and consequences from writers' strikes and people being pregnant and people needing maternity leave. And the writers really did find ways to write them into the series. And though season 3 is not as good as season 2, they had the Amazing Friends reference in the finale, which I got without having to look it up, but like that was really good. The reason why this is so high up on the list is because they have one episode, I wrote it down too. This year has been a really good year of having standout episodes, and this episode 8, Holes Are Bad. And I know a lot of people don't really enjoy this episode because of its subject matter, but honestly, every sitcom has moments where they deal with something deep. Will and Grace do it all the time. Friends did it. How I Met Your Mother did it. That's So Raven did it twice. Ghosts is no exception, and I think I commend them. They're brave for doing stuff like this, because it's a boldness in not hiding the discussions and having those discussions and allowing people to be known that they are seen, that they are heard, and that they want to be seen, that they want to be heard. It's these moments in these sitcoms where I think that really elevate the sitcom. So Ghosts gets a 9.7 for now out of 10. Coming in at number 5 is Fallout with a 9.7 out of 10 as well. And you can see this on Prime Video. I love Fallout. I've never played the games, but what a genuine genius concept to create a world with new time periods. Therefore, each game and each story can be its own time period and its own thing. So you don't have to continue the story on. We're adding to the world with our own story, and that is awesome. That's the beauty of world building, and that's the beauty of world building of Fallout. And I think this show, it permanently lives in my head, and I might go back and rewatch it if I have time, which is gonna be yes, because at this point I kind of just want to go and watch the things that I know are good, like Fallout. They're just so long, but at the same time, it is a really good show. I want to be best friends with Lucy. Oh no, for real. I think Lucy is the best character of this whole show. I know everybody likes the Ghoul. Again, I never play the games, but I definitely now want to save every bit of my money so I can go buy a console, a PS5 specifically, so I can play every single Fallout game that's available, and then I can just expire from society. All in all, I cannot wait for season 2, which has already been announced. Hopefully it's gonna come out next year. Fallout gets a 9.7 out of 10. Coming in at number 4 is The Traitors UK season 2. Honestly, this season was a huge upgrade from the first season of the UK. The UK season 1 is the least favorite series that I have. This season, the game was played for real, for real. And oh my gosh, stakes, hearts, everything were broken. It was an incredible watch, and the drama. I love Traitors. As I talk about Traitors any point I can, at any given moment that I can, just talk about Traitors and say, watch it. Go watch it. I'm going to do a Traitors ranking by season video soon, so you guys can know which ones to watch when and how, because Australia has a really good first season, but the second season was awful. Very much awful. But in terms of UK season 2, it gets a 9.9 out of 10. It's tremendous. I'm not gonna give anything away. It's really hard to talk about stuff like this, like reality TV that involves mystery. Number 3 is High Hopes on Hulu with a 9.9 out of 10. This is a comedy docu-series that kind of feels scripted at times, but it's not. Well, let me tell you what, my Filmer dudes, I love cannabis-related things and content. So when I saw that this was a docu-series filmed like a mockumentary, and it is entirely unscripted, and it is DIY, and it's fueled by passion, it's self-produced, I had to drink the THC Kool-Aid, and this is my favorite type of Kool-Aid. Again, I love weed and drug-related themed episodes in sitcoms like New Girls. both one-word Jess thinks she has a substance hidden in her closet. She has no idea what to do, and Winston is gonna have a police review at the house, and they had to get rid of it. And then whenever they smoke pot for the first time. Oh, it's so funny. And in Blackish, when Dre and Bo take an edible for the first time, cannabis-related sitcom episodes prove to be one of the funniest type of sitcom episodes of all time. That and Halloween for some reason. We do love our Halloween episodes, but this show is hilarious. I genuinely felt like I was watching a show about my friends, not specifically my friends. I don't have friends, but like I would hang out with them all day, every day. These are just seems like people who with genuine passion, and like you get to learn about different types of individuals, and like this really does put a positive spin on cannabis, and I think that's why it was made, because there's so many negative connotations on cannabis and illegal weed, false connotations might I add, and I think that this, for its purpose of educating on the cannabis industry, kind of, but again, you get to learn the people who partake are just like you and me. I would even say watch WeedTube on YouTube, like Chrissy Harless, Jay Blaze, so many others on YouTube, who are trying to normalize cannabis and getting high for medicinal or lifestyle purposes. They're doing their best to educate, and I think that these things are phenomenal. I want to say I've seen this show twice now. It might have been only once, but I'm definitely gonna go see it another time because I just really want to. It's so good. It's so fun. No, I have seen it twice. Coming in at number 2, Ted the Series with a 9.9 out of 10. You can watch this one on Peacock, and honestly, I think that Ted the Series it quickly became one of my favorite comedies of the year. I can no longer tell you how many times I've watched and rewatched these episodes. It used to be once a month, and now it's literally, I'll put it on anytime. It is so funny. Oh my goodness, I love the Ted series. I've shown it to so many friends. That's how I've seen it so many more times than once a month at this point. Because sometimes I even put it on to go to bed, and I'll watch all 7 episodes in one go in a night. Honestly, Ted the series is, in my opinion, better than the movies, and I know that's bold to say, but truly. Oh my goodness, this is like a sitcom for adults. It's Seth MacFarlane, so obviously it is. It feels like Family Guy, but live action, but without Family Guy. And it's Ted. I've never seen Family Guy, so I wouldn't know. And honestly, I might start watching Family Guys because everyone's like, Ivan, your humor is just so much like Seth MacFarlane's. I'm like, okay, well then maybe I should start watching it. But this is cool. This is genuinely a perfect combination of sitcom and adult and 90s. It's a blend that you wouldn't think fit, but it does. And season 2 is already confirmed, and they're already reading and doing table reads and scripting season 2, so hopefully it's gonna be more than 7 seasons. Seth MacFarlane, if you're seeing this, make it more than seven episodes, sorry. Make it 10 episodes, please, or 22. I'm not opposed to 22, but please don't make it 7. 7 is far too short, and don't make that first episode insanely long. The Christmas episode is my least favorite episode, which is why it doesn't get a perfect 10 out of 10. Kind of feels like a studio mandated episode. I've come to learn to enjoy and love the Christmas episode because it really is funny. It's Dennis and the dad, which I guess is a point, but 9.9, maybe 9.9.9 out of 10. Wait, no, 9.99 out of 10 is the Ted series. And coming in at number 1, I mean, there's no way it's not, but that is X-Men 97 with 10 out of 10. Like, holy cow, y'all. Okay, if you've seen the show, I don't need to tell you about it. You've seen it, you know. But if you haven't seen the show, let me tell you a few things that might convince you to watch the show. All right, so listen. I grew up with X-Men Evolution, so when I tried to watch the animated series last year in preparation for this show, I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that the animated series is completely jumbled because of having to put this episode out there, because this episode is completed before, you know, part 2. So we got to go put this random episode in between part 2 and part 1. And it's a mess. It's a wild mess. And sure, you can go and look up the real, on Reddit, the real watch list, but it's so hard to go back and forth. It would be so easy of Disney to rearrange those episodes for us. I just don't understand, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Season 3, I said no mas, and I said bye. Plus, I don't think the animated series aged very well. And as a dude who has read a lot of X-Men comics, when I was watching the animated series, I was like, well, I mean, I could just go back and read because they seem a little better than this. And I'm sorry if you like the animated series, you can. I just didn't. I liked X-Men Evolution. So my expectations for X-Men 97 were so insanely low. I said, I'm not gonna react to this because I'm probably not gonna like it. I should have reacted to it because it's now my favorite show of this year, and it might end up being the #1 show of 2024. I did watch season 5 in prep to right before, like a week before this came out, because I said, you know what, season 5, 10 episodes, I can do it. And I'm so glad I did, because I was caught up to where I needed to be for Charles Xavier and crew, and oh my gosh, the drama. This feels like a soap opera, but with like superpowers, and it's phenomenal. I love it. I realized that I love watching drama, I love watching psychology, and that actually stems from my love and reading of X-Men and even Spider-Man. Those comics are not really comedy. It's so weird. Spider-Man it's more drama. And Bo DeMeo, what an artist. What a writer. Holy cow, what a creator. Each episode is so beautifully animated, and each character has like a little spotlight moment so that they could showcase their superpowers, and it's so cool. People like Cyclops, Rogue, Jean, Bishop, and Nightcrawler. There's one bit that Nightcrawler gets. We finally know what it looks like to teleport with Nightcrawler, and it was amazing. This show is exactly what it feels like to read an X-Men comic, full of soap, full of drama, full of politics, full of powers. This is X-Men. This is the way. I genuinely cannot wait for season 2 and 3, which I mean, of course, it's gonna be good. Those who are gonna prematurely get, you know, a 10 out of 10. It's gonna be great, maybe, hopefully. But I have some theories as to where season 2, season 3, maybe even potential season 4 and 5 are gonna go, but we're not gonna talk about that here. We're just gonna end with 10 out of 10. That is it. Those were my favorite TV shows so far in 2024. Let me know your list in the comments below. Did I miss anything? Should I have included anything else? Let me know your comments in the comments below, and my social media links are in the description also below, and I will see you next time. You've just been Montified.